Well, thank you so much for joining us here today. We are in Ukiah, California at Plant Shop, which is an incredible local cannabis dispensary here in Mendocino County, where we have an incredible curation of local Mendocino craft cannabis flower from some incredible small farmers that are here in Mendocino County. And so we're really excited today to be able to speak to a couple of those farmers and talk with them about the magic of Mendocino. What makes Mendocino County so special, what makes the cannabis here so great, and why you should be interested in checking that out wherever you are, and then coming here to check it out in Mendocino. So we're going to start by going around and having everybody introduce themselves. They'll tell you their name, their farm, and how long they've been farming cannabis. So we're going to start over here. Joseph, please go ahead.
Thanks, Michael. Hi there. My name's Joseph Haggard. I'm with Emerald Spirit Botanicals. It's my mom, my brother, my wife, and I, just outside of Willits in Mendocino County. And I'm a second generation, so I've been, I grew up on the farm, been growing my whole life, not just cannabis, vegetables, and everything involved in the whole garden. So, yeah, I think that's all. Yep.
Hi, I'm Mary Polson. I'm with Seed 707 LLC here in Laytonville in the Long Valley, and I've been in cannabis for 10 years personally myself, but raised around cannabis and immersed in it here in Mendocino County, since I was probably 7 years old. Yeah, my family came up from South San Francisco and bought in 1964. They were not into cannabis. They were a business family, and somewhere along the line, someone had to be a gardener because it all hit me. So, yeah. We just have a beautiful little farm, 5,000 square feet, and it's specialty craft batches here in Mendo.
Hi, I'm Marty Klein with Marty Farms. I've been growing for 20 years. I spent my first 10 years in wine country, and to kind of move into the next question, I think terroir is why I'm actually in Mendo. I grew really good weed in Sonoma. And they're like, well, you want to grow better weed, just go up to Mendo. And that's literally what we did. And the quality increased. And I didn't change much of what I was doing. And that's specifically the terroir, which is, where we grow. And I actually grow in a place called Coblo, a nice small community in East Mendocino. I'm glad to be here.
Excellent. Thank you all so much. So we got a really great wide range of experience and even physical locations here in Mendocino. And I think, Marty, you jumped the gun a little bit, but we're going to get into it. I want to know, for our audience who might not be as familiar with this area, what makes the physical place of Mendocino County so special and so unique when it comes to cultivating cannabis? Could you each speak a little bit about that? And we'll start with you, Marty, and then come back around.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, I try to explain, and there's a lot we could talk about, but for me, it's the differential in late summer between the nights and the days, when you could have daytime of 105, 115, and then night times of 50 and 55 degrees. It's that which creates the rich terpene profiles and the depth of the cannabinoid profiles, along with soil and elevation and stuff. But specifically for me, I find that the temperature increases that, that unique terpene batch that is, we're going to find out as we continue to study this plant that what we do is special, and this is the place that produces that special profile.
Thanks, Mary.
Yeah, wow. That was beautiful. He's so professional. Here in Mendo, there's so many different regions. I mean, we have the Long Valley, then we have our beautiful mountaintops, and I feel, that the cannabis is so unique because of so many different regions. And besides, the climate and your elevation, also the people, the person who put the love into the medicine. So, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Cannabis is, it vibrates, right? It accumulates all these different things from the environment around it. So I certainly believe that includes the vibrations of the people who are tending it, which leads us perfectly to Joseph. Yes. Joseph, what makes cannabis cultivation in Mendocino so special?
Yeah, I think what's really special about, like you said, with the people and also just like the energy and the passion and the culture that, this land has really held for thousands of generations. Like, this land is close to, like, the origin of where the spirit and life was really respected in a different way. And now as we step forward into this industrialized culture, we've seen so much land mismanaged, so much water mismanaged, and on top of it, having a perfect climate, really, there's clean water here. There's the trees are growing throughout the mountainsides and bringing fresh air forward, and there's still wildlife that moves through the water and moves through the land. And really, when you have that unique relationship that's really been here for millions of years, there's a spirit and there's a soul that really carries through that, and that's something really special about Mendocino. And as we're growing this medicine in that space, and this medicine is taking that energy in, and we're bringing that medicine out to these people, and so that's also above climate and everything, such an important layer that we need to recognize.
Yeah, so it's a combination of the environment and the culture, right? The people and the place, and those two things combined in such a special way. And so, in relating to that, the environment, we're starting off with a pristine, gorgeous place here in Mendocino, but the practices that farmers undertake in order to cultivate the most expressive and best cannabis and really, work in tandem with the land. I was hoping that maybe you guys could talk about the practices that you follow that really steward the land and really, care about the future, and really more than just we're growing cannabis, but really the holistic approach to gardening that I know each of you have. So if you could speak a little bit about that, maybe start, Joseph, and then go back.
Yeah, so my background, living on the farm, growing up on the farm, and then going to UC Santa Cruz to study sort of the scientific understanding of soil and compost, and then after that transitioning into biodynamic agriculture and having the science as a background, but also biodynamics recognizes the soul and the spirit and the life force and the essence that moves through these living creatures and these plants, and so really trying to, after that, those 6 years, trying to kind of weave that together and create an understanding that acknowledges both the physical and the chemical, as well as the unseen and spiritual world. And so that's kind of the foundation of our farm. And, we have a whole mix of different vegetables and different flowers with pollinators and the
lifestyle too, right?
Yeah. And the lifestyle, as well as the relationship to all of this, and how do we connect with our hearts and our minds to the space that we're creating in the garden to make this beautiful medicine. So, regenerative practices, but also this deeper layer of connection and soul with the beings that we're creating in the garden.
Excellent. Thank you. Mary, talk about, I know that you're very excited about your regenerative practices. Can you maybe share a little bit about what you're doing?
I've been inspired. I've been inspired by so many beautiful, strong, small farmers. So when I came to cannabis, it was through kind of a medical desperation, helping family who were going through cancer. And it just was natural that, we needed to get them to try this cannabis just to improve their way of life. And it did. And it was a beautiful journey. So I started out as a medical grower first. I'd always been in cannabis and around it, but I was a mother with 5 kids, so I was a little busy. So I came to cannabis a little later in life. And it has saved my life too. It's just it's such a powerful thing to have a farm, a beautiful piece of property, and then be able to generate something like this medicine that actually helps you with something, your stomach, your mind, whatever is ailing your body. And all these farms in Mendo are so unique. And so my journey it's kind of funny, but sales are a little off, things are a little sliding. So the cannabis that was returned to me, we used it and we made regenerative cannabis compost tea. And fully this year, never bought a bottle of anything, a little steer, a little chicken, a little bat, but otherwise, just had an amazing journey. And so I'm inspired by who I'm sitting next to, because I've been like the fly on the wall as I go through this journey, with all these great farmers and just growing just as the best medicine, sun grown. It's where it's at in Mendo. It's beautiful. Oh yeah.
Well, thank you. And I've seen the results, and it's incredible. So, just
some yummy stuff coming out.
Yeah, no, it's just so great when farmers are really tuned in to the environment that they're in, and really, because that's one of the things that I think makes Mendocino so special, just that connection between the people and the land and the care there, and that is what produces the best environment to create the most expressive cannabis. Marty, we talk a little bit about your practices.
Thank you, Mary, for what you said. So when I first came to California, my background was horticulture. So I was very interested in the plant anyways, and I worked at botanical gardens. It was involved with seed programs, and we would go out into this 87-acre public facility and propagate seed, and that seed we would prepare for the market. We would sell it around the world. It was very, very interesting. Every tree and every cycad and all of the plants had placards on when they were planted from 1954, 1926. So it was very interesting. There was a lot of data. It sounds cool, but it was a lot of data, less out in the greens. But I had a knowledge of how to propagate and then take that seed and save it and preserve it and then sell it in the market. So I was always interested in seed, and cannabis in Miami, Florida, where I'm from, was the only thing that ever actually calmed me down. I was involved with other drugs, and I always got in trouble. And cannabis was the one thing that allowed me to really focus. And after a drug bust in 9th grade, I was able to come out of rehab, and I excelled in sports and student government, and really focused. Even though I was smoking weed and selling weed, it allowed me to really focus. And coming to California, I decided to leave corporate America. My wife was sick, and we were like, we want to grow cannabis and know where that cannabis is coming from. And I got a job that first year when I was in Sonoma Valley in the cellar for the Benziger family winery. And I specifically looked them out because they're a biodynamic farm. They were the first biodynamic vineyard. And one of the things that really stuck with me, and Mike, the owner, is actually still in the business in Sonoma County with a farm called Glentucky. They have an acre of cannabis. Side note, they grew more herbs outside of cannabis here and made money doing that than selling weed, because that's where things are at. But he's learned how to diversify. But they have this 87-acre farm in Glen Allen, and they have what's called a biodynamic pit, which shows the progression of soil and the quality of the soil, which the roots sit in the soil. So I always focused on the soil. To me, above ground was easy. You pull a couple of leaves and you cut some branches off and you cut a flower. But to me, it was about what was below ground, and that unique, I use Paul Stamets mushrooms. I use something called Myco Grow, which is a 17 blend of endo and ectomycorrhizae. Mycorrhizae are in the ground, but I always add more. And like you said, I still put a little steer and I still put a little chicken. I do have livestock. I have goats and chickens, and I add that in. And this was the one year that I really went lean too. I accepted that I had enough energy and food in the ground to produce flower, and this was the best year I've had in at least the last 10 or 12. It was incredible. And it was because the soil was living and alive, and I don't let my soil die every year and bring it back. There's always something growing out of it, and to me, that's where it's at. It's what's below ground that produces what's above ground.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. This is all so incredible and really interesting stuff. I'm sure everybody's really enjoying hearing this from you guys. Thank you so much for sharing. I was wondering if you might be willing to share a little bit about the products that you're currently excited about. What's some things that are coming down the pipe into the market from this season that you're really jazzed about? I'm sure there's some exciting stuff. And so maybe, Marty, would you be willing to start off?
Sure. So over the last 3 years, I've transitioned out of my quote-unquote legacy seeds, and I've tried to focus on some of the market names that people like, not because I want to, but because I felt like I had to. So this year, I'm growing Seed Junkie and Compound Genetics, and the one thing I gotta say is they do know what they're doing, because some of the flower that I produced this year, Michael, is incredible. The Jet Fuel Gelato just got tested down at Organican at 37.6, so high THC, and that's a good number people are looking for. But the terps are there and the quality is there, so that's what I'm excited about. I have also Georgia Pie from Seed Junkie, which is the gelato Cushman's cross. Actually, it's the gelati Cushman's cross. Anyways, but yeah, those are what I'm excited about. Thank you. Yeah.
Mary, what you got going on?
Everything sounds so good.
Champagne.
Oh yes, I have the beautiful Spyrock Pink Champagne. It's beautiful. It's yummy. I'm very excited with that. I crossed it with the Humboldt Seed Company blueberry muffin. And so I have a little bit of some blueberry champagne that I'm going to put in the Emerald Cup because I just dabble in a little bit. Another awesome Humboldt Seed Company strain, Notorious THC, came out at 27%, so that's my highest one. But I like creative, fun, fruity weeds. That's my thing. And then the Hella Jelly, Humboldt Seed Company, that's a sativa. Oh my God, just smells like
That smelled great.
cotton candy, and it's just yummy. And it's a sativa high, that one. And then I did a really small batch of cookies, apples and bananas, and 12 seeds. I think I got about 7 plants and did all regenerative with the cannabis that we didn't sell. But God, I made really good stinky tea. So I'm excited. I think we're gonna have some really fun entries this year.
Great, thanks
Yeah.
so much. Joseph, what have you guys got going on?
Well, so for those of you listening, if you don't know, our focus is on some of these other unique cannabinoids and really bringing those into balance with each other and also with THC. So this year, one of the strains, it's one of our classics. It's Harmony Rose. It's 1-to-1, equal parts THC, CBD. Has like a nice, relaxing, calming, rosy, floral effect. Closer to like kind of more of like an indica type effect, but more not so couch locky, more just kind of relaxing and
That's my
settling.
wife's favorite tincture. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. The Harmony Rose. It's we have it in flower and also with chemistry and Garden Society will have it as well. So we'll be sharing it in many different forms. And then our Pink Boost Goddess has just been such an incredible being with us on the farm. We've been working with her for the last 7 years and really been bringing forward THCV. Which is a unique cannabinoid that's great for focus. It's great for energy. It's kind of like just commonly like a coffee high is how it's related in some ways. But really, really beautiful flavor and nose on it as well. And last year had an incredible year. Won the Emerald Cup, California State Fair. Was recently recognized by Leafly as one of the top 12 strains in California.
Yeah.
So just, she's been so generous to our family in bringing this incredible medicine forward for us to be able to share with the people, and just super honored that everyone's, just loving it and appreciating it.
Yeah,
and
blessings.
Yeah, just feeling the medicine. So those are our 2 that we're, really excited to have out. We have also a high CBD strain called Rose Queen. And then we're playing around with a couple other unique cannabinoids that I'll just kind of leave as a mystery for now.
Come on.
Yeah.
Exciting.
That's probably wise.
You're just going to have to follow along.
Any hints?
It's more than 2 cannabinoids.
Oh, boy.
So we're looking at ratios that could be 3 or even 4 cannabinoids in one flower. So, just exploring the connections that they can create together and what that experience is for us is going to be really exciting and something to look forward to.
If I could just add to this, if you heard what I said about my legacy seeds, luckily Metric 3 or 4 years ago opened Metric for like 60 days for people to enter legacy seeds. You remember that?
Yes,
So
I
I
do.
do have legacy seeds, and one of the things that inspires me to
We all do.
really grow them again was what you guys are doing. And just recently my wife said, you can't just grow the seed junkie and the compound genetics next year. You got to crack your own seeds, because she put me in this shirt today, and this is a Supreme Church that I've been growing for a very long time, and I haven't grown her in about 3 or 4 years. So you guys inspired me to get
Just
back.
coming back.
Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome.
Well, that's great. One of the
Yeah.
things that I think we've also learned recently in the last year through the testing and through the different competitions we've heard from SC Labs, that there's been a decrease in the diversity of cannabis product and cannabis genetics available because of kind of the commercial drive towards certain types of products. And so it's really exciting that while we're also contributing our really unique genetics and stuff that you can't find anywhere else to the market from here in Mendocino, and we can also play with the current things that are happening, but because of the legacy, because of the heritage, because of the history, and because of the spirit that drives this community, the results of, traditional commercial genetics are always going to be better. But then when you have the really unique things that have been bred specifically in this region to those areas, you're going to get something that you literally can't get anywhere else in the world. And so I guess that's the thing I would like to leave folks with as we wrap this panel up. And thank you all so much for sharing your stories with us. If there's something that you'd like to leave our audience with about Mendocino and about cannabis and your farm, just, share what you'd like to the audience and let them know what they should look for when they're out there in the world and come across your farm. Joseph?
Yeah, one of the mottos that we have on the farm is proper hydration, proper vibration.
Love it.
So it's, and it's a really simple thing is, we just want to make sure that when we're out in our lives, whether we're enjoying cannabis or not, to just remember to pause, take that deep breath, make sure you're drinking good water, and just taking care of, your vessel and your body. And that will just help us to lead better and more fulfilling lives. And the cannabis that we grow on our farm is sort of a medicine that we want to provide to people that can help them get back to that. Because in the city, it can be hard to stay connected to your breath and connected to good water. So we want to, our packages are bundling that little goodness up and trying to give you a taste of that memory and that soul and spirit that we carry in Mendocino. So you can look for it out there. And in the meantime, just take a deep breath and feel some of your own good medicine.
That is beautiful. Love it. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you, Joseph.
Mary?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's so beautiful. Yes, we all got to breathe. And I grow cannabis at my little farm. It came to me because I needed it. I've raised 5 kids. I've been through 5 births. I've been through postpartum 5 times. And, cannabis was my savior, honestly. I mean, moms rock. We're doing it all. Dads rock too. And we all need to just have that moment to just relax. Take a breath and just be so thankful. So I think, we have a lot of blessings here in Mendocino County. We're very strong. I love to play music. So my farm has this musical vibe going on. We've been rocking for 20 years and, we're local. Been here since 1964. And, it's just a beautiful thing. It's a family growing medicine and trying to brand ourselves, trying to survive. And, thank you for MCA. It's very wonderful to have other like-minded individuals who are surviving with me. I am not alone. Yeah.
Absolutely. Stronger together.
Yes. Stronger together.
Thank you, Mary. You're a diamond, and you're a diamond because of the pressure that's being put on you right now. So take a deep breath and know that. You too, Joseph. You too, Michael. We're diamonds. Those of us that are left, and it's not many, are diamonds. So I'm going to not get choked up. But what I will say is one of the mottos on our farm is plants by the moon with sun, soil, and soul. The act of planting the plants, and then plants, the plant itself, so that's important to us. Another motto is every plant every day. We're not growing acres and acres and acres of cannabis. My plants have names. We have rows that have names, and that's kind of the way we like it. We don't grow a lot of cannabis, so we keep it very, very neat and nice. We have a post-harvest production that is very incredible to preserve color and texture and tone by the removal of oxygen and understanding moisture content. And that's kind of the work I do. Just excited to, still be in this and still be a part of the community here. I'm going to be in this. Next year, you'll watch this video again, and I'll still be here. I plan to be one of the farms that make it, and I'm doing everything I can.
Absolutely.
I have a lawyer on staff. I got a CPA on staff, a bookkeeper on staff, an engineer on staff.
Well, good, he can help us all.
And I feel like I'm still doing it all on my own. But nevertheless, I'm enjoying the journey. So even if I don't make it a year from now, then I can at least say I did everything I could to be a part of this community. make it happen.
You're doing great. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you, for participating in this. So much thanks to Plant Shop, Mendocino.
Yeah, this is
job.
a beautiful
Nice job.
spot.
We're so grateful
Beautiful.
for them to have really integrated into the community. They're a huge part of the Mendocino Cannabis Alliance now. We have the Mendocino Cannabis Shop platform here at Plant Shop Ukiah, and so that you can always come to Ukiah and find some of the best local craft cannabis around here in Mendocino. You can also find Mendocino Cannabis Shop products out in the world. So in Sacramento at Big Sur Cannabotanicals, on the Mendocino coast at Sol de Mendocino, and in Dragonfly at Fort Bragg, and soon to be in the Bay Area and elsewhere. So we highly recommend, when you're out there in the world and you're thinking about where should you get your cannabis, what should you be looking for, think Mendocino Cannabis and ask for that at your local licensed dispensary. I'm Michael Katz, Executive Director for the Mendocino Cannabis Alliance. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Michael.
Peace.
Thank you.
That's a cut.
Nice. Good job. Bud.
All right, guys.
Yeah. Good job.
That was fun, yeah. Good job.
You learned something new about people you know.